My sister sees nothing wrong with bringing her massive family to my place on Thanksgiving and not helping with the meal at all, so this year I told her desserts only, and they all saw the door the second she realized I wasn't kidding. For over 20 years I have hosted holidays at my place. My sister and her family moved out of state, but are close enough to come back for each holiday. Sounds great, right? Well, not so much. Sister and her family always go to her in-laws' place for the big meal, and since her mill is not a great cook, they just pick at the food then invade my place for leftovers, aka the entire meal afterwards. Now you're probably thinking, what's the big deal, right? Well, the big deal is that it's gotten to the point my recipe for mashed potatoes starts with a 10-pound bag of potatoes, the turkey barely fits in the oven, the sides take up the entire counter, and I use an entire quart of cream for just desserts. It's a huge undertaking, and not only does sister not contribute financially, she never even has the decency to let me know whether they are coming or when. This year I texted the family that my kids were going to make the meal for just us, and if anyone wanted to join us afterwards I'd have dessert and only dessert to share. As usual I got a text from everyone else but nothing from sister. Rather than trying to chase her down, I assumed she had gotten the message and went on with my plans. The times comes and the kids put on a lovely meal. We eat and enjoy ourselves, then pack up the leftovers. A few families showed up over the next hour and we chatted happily. Then it happens. The car's pulling into the driveway. Sister's family has arrived. They invade in usual style, going round giving quick hugs before heading for the kitchen. It took less than 30 seconds before she's out, trying to be polite since there are still others there, to ask where the food is. Me, aren't the pies on the counter? The bread pudding is in the crock pot, the sauce is on the stove. Her, yes, but where's the food? At this point the others are starting to catch on to what's up, and trading glances. Me, I told everyone that we were only doing dessert. Did you not get the message? Her, you know we can't actually eat at Mill's house. We were counting on eating here before we drive back. Me, well I think there should be fast food open somewhere between here and your place. Her adult kids were trickling out of the kitchen at this point, looking around as if a turkey dinner is going to magically appear out of thin air, and everyone else is practically holding their breath waiting to see what happens. She spewed some not nice comments about how they were probably not going to find anything open and it was my fault they were going hungry, told the kids to grab something to eat in the cars, and stomped out. I don't know who lost their composure first, but I think it was my uncle who cracked and started laughing. Once we calmed back down, the rest of us had quite the nice evening enjoying just desserts. Update. My kids got word from their cousins that there was quite a blow-up from my sister on their way home. Bad enough that all the kids ended up in one car so they didn't have to listen to her. I am of course devastated, okay not really, by her reaction. My text for the Christmas desserts drop-in reads something like this: It was so great seeing all of you who dropped in for desserts on Thanksgiving. If you couldn't make it, know that you were missed. It worked out so well that we would like to invite all of you to drop by for desserts on Christmas Day as well. We will start at 2 p.m. on Christmas Day, drop in as you can. Everyone is invited for caroling and cocoa on Christmas Eve as well. We will be leaving at 6 p.m. and it should only be about 2 hours. If you are going to attend either or both, please let me know which and how many people to plan for by the 15th. Love you all. Most of the families texted back right away. I didn't get a text from my sister. Shocking, I know. What I did get was a phone call on the 19th and one on the 23rd to let me know that it isn't worth the extra drive time for desserts. Keep in mind the extra drive time is 15 minutes or so each way. Obviously, this was an attempt to wrangle a meal invite. I'm quite proud of myself for just saying that I was going to miss her family and hope they had a Merry Christmas anyway. Both times. This summer I had spent a fair amount of time thinking that I wanted to make myself a throw blanket like the one I was making for my sister for Christmas. After the call on the 19th, I took that lovely blanket out of the gifts and replaced it with a book of holiday recipes. Since I was feeling extra petty, instead of making a nice book, laminated and illustrated pages, properly bound, I printed out the pages on plain paper and stapled them together. I mailed it Christmas Eve, so she should be getting it in the mail in a few days. Her adult kids, on the other hand, had decided that dealing with their mom was a pain and they would be coming by for desserts without telling her. It was a rather nice surprise to get that text on the 14th. On Christmas Day they even managed to get their teen brother into the car before she noticed as they were leaving. Funny thing, they all got their regular Christmas presents from under the tree when they arrived. They also got an abundance of texts from their mother having an absolute fit that they had come to my house. The funniest one was her telling them that she and their father were driving home without them. As if that was somehow a punishment. Insert eye roll of everyone present here. If you're wondering what recipes I chose to include in the cookbook, it's 25 pages of just desserts. Honestly, I couldn't resist. Edit to add, the kids were absolutely hysterical as they took turns reading out the angry texts they were receiving. Update, it's the new year, January 3rd, and I still haven't heard a word, directly, from my sister. I got a text from my niece wanting to know where I purchased the hair accessories I gave her for Christmas. Evidently, my sister wants to buy some. It's been over a decade since I actually bought a Christmas gift for anyone other than my children. Every single one has been handmade, but I guess she never noticed. Insert screaming here. Lucky for me, unlucky for her, the stones I used this year and last were all of that kind I had, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't be suckered into making her a set. Not that I will be willing to make her anything at all for a very long time, the ungrateful wench.